Before we begin, it's important to understand something about this story. What you're about to hear is not just one memory. It's a collection of real experiences, stories shared by people who lived this life. Some are memories passed down through generations. Some are moments that changed people forever. And some are stories that were never told until now. This film brings those voices together, not to judge the past, but to understand it. Because behind every tradition, there are people, and behind every person, there is a story. Before the sun rises, before the village wakes, there is always the same sound, a rooster calling through the morning fog. I've been waking up to that sound for more than 60 years. Not alarms, not phones, just birds announcing the day. Even now, I'm a boy again. Barefoot in wet grass. Cold morning air on my skin, and my grandfather standing beside me. I was 8 years old the first time my grandfather placed a rooster in my arms. I remember how warm it felt, its heart beating fast against my chest. He looked down at me and said something I've never forgotten. "Respect him. He is stronger than he looks." To me it was simple. It was pride. It meant I was finally old enough to help. Sundays were different back then. Men gathered under the big acacia tree, talking birds, like family, bloodlines, strength. Children ran between cages. Women brought rice and fish wrapped in banana leaves. There was laughter. There was pride. There was community. Looking back now, those days felt like something out of another lifetime. But I remember the first time I stood near the pit. I wasn't cheering. I was holding my grandfather's sleeve. The crowd was loud, money changing hands. But inside the pit, it was strangely quiet. Two birds circling, watching each other, waiting. And for the first time, something didn't feel right. I remember thinking, they don't know why they're here. In our village, this was tradition. When I was 15, I raised my first bird by myself, fed him every morning, cleaned his cage. I even talked to him sometimes. You start believing they understand you. He had a way of tilting his head, like he was listening. The day of the match, my hands were shaking. My grandfather leaned close and whispered, "Win or lose, we honor the animal." But when it ended, I didn't feel pride. I felt empty. The next morning, the roosters crowed again, and life continued. Because that's what tradition does. It keeps moving, even when your heart hesitates. Years later, my own son stood beside me, same age I had been. He looked up and asked something simple. "Do they have to fight?" It was a small question, but it hit me harder than any loss. I realized something. I had never asked that question myself. Then the laws changed. The pits grew quiet. For me, it felt like the end of a chapter. I turned around and walked home. My grandfather gave me discipline. My son gave me a question. And sometimes, a question is more powerful than tradition. I just listened to the birds and the quiet, and that is enough. Before we end this story, there's something important to remember. The memories you've heard today are only a small part of a much larger story. Across villages, towns, and generations, there are many voices, many experiences, many stories still waiting to be told. If you lived this life, or if someone in your family did, we'd love to hear from you. If you'd like your story featured in a future episode, send it to us, because every story matters, and together we can preserve the memories behind a disappearing world.